In this video, dudes, I'm going to explain why you need 100,000 Hbar and 50 Qnt as fast as possible. Now, this isn't a video to say, hey, go and buy this exactly right now, because that is going to be unfathomably almost impossible for people that don't have this amount of money. But I'm going to show you why this is going to be one of the easiest money-making strategies you can use if you just wanted to add 2 coins to your portfolio, or maybe you're one of those dudes that just like 1 or 2 altcoins and that's all you want to hold. I've never been a fan of that, just in case, you know, we like to spread ourselves not too thin, of course, but I don't like the case of, you know, something explodes, right? So we hold these 2 and then we get an explosion and we don't actually make any money. But I truly believe these are going to be one of the easiest gains if you were to attain this in the next bull run. So let's talk about actual numbers. It's going to cost you about 10 grand, give or take. Just keep that in mind. 5 grand here, 5 grand here. These are the exact numbers. At the time of recording, now remember, Hbar, etc., up, down, remember this is a DCA strategy. But if you were to come in here and invest 10k, you wanted 10k, I would honestly look at this if you were one of the guys that only wanted to hold 2 altcoins. So just keep that in mind. And I wrote here, this is going to be the easiest money of your life. I genuinely believe that is going to be the case without the risk/reward. I think it both makes sense. And it's coins I'm very, very not passionate about, because I love the projects. I'm here to love the game of making money in cryptocurrency and funnel that money back into businesses, etc. Now, the numbers we're going to talk about, I believe, have an easy chance of happening in the next bull. Super easy. So I'm not giving you super hype numbers, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to expect more, but again, I always try to give you guys realistic outcomes, although some people still say I'm being too bullish, but there's going to be a lot of people that are saying, hey Jake, these numbers are quite easy, and that's what I want, because imagine if the numbers were easy, and we know that going into the game, and then we can make way fucking more, and the numbers that are easy are already absolutely fantastic. That's what we ideally want. We don't want to be having to stretch ourselves, having to wait until the numbers might never happen, and we'd ride them all the way back down. So I'm going to be playing this one super safe for you guys. Of course, have to make a quick disclaimer. I don't have to, like it's my channel, just keep that in mind, but I like to, because there's always going to be the 1 to 2% of guys that come in there and say, hey, okay, let me follow this guy's advice. Just keep this in mind, dude. Crypto could go to shit. Listen to that again. Crypto could go to shit. Now, if you're here for the long term, I think you're going to do fantastic. But if you can't handle the storm, maybe it's not for you, bro. Maybe it's not for you. But if BTC decides to do nothing, it's game over for a while. Absolutely nothing is going to happen because Bitcoin controls the market. But again, I wouldn't worry, because we just DCA for the longer run, for the next bull run. It doesn't really matter to me. It means we can actually accumulate more. If this is easy to you, or if this is a little bit harder, cool. BTC may take an extra 6 months, so we predict. That's fine. You can actually get to this number, and you can get far beyond that. So let's talk about the numbers before we get in the video. There's going to be 2 kind of numbers we're going to talk about. It's the selling at Qnt $2,000 and selling at Hbar of $1. Now, this isn't the strategy I'm going to give you, because then the video would be ending, but a lot of people just say, hey, $2,000, okay, I'm going to sell the 50 Qnt, $1 Hbar, I'm going to sell the 100,000 Hbar, right? No, that's fine, but there's a couple of problems with that, particularly we're going to talk about, but just keep that in mind. This isn't the best strategy. I wanted to give you guys a more foolproof strategy. We need exit strategies, because remember, people always talk about DCAing, that's fantastic. That's step 1, along with choosing what coins. So in this example, we've chose Hbar and Qnt. But I would argue strongly that what's more even important is our exit strategies, because in an ideal world, dudes, let's say we buy, we've got the DCAs, everything's fantastic. But what happens if we don't have this exit strategy and we're holding for $1? Hbar in the previous run, like I was, like a lot of people was. A lot of people were holding for $10, God's sake, $20. Some people said $100, that was never going to happen. But imagine if you held this. DCA, you did everything right, but the exit strategy wasn't foolproof, and now you're having to wait forever. Now again, you're here for a long term, this would be the long term, it's not going to make a difference, but why wouldn't you realize these gains, dudes? You can start doing some real shit in the world, start buying some cool shit, starting that business, start just doing cool shit, and setting yourself up for the next run. So even if the DCAs were crap, let's say you DCA'd here, even DCA'd here, DCA'd at the top here, if you had an exit strategy, you'd have still made money on crap DCAs, right? On the worst DCAs possible. If the exit strategy is there, you're still going to make money. You're not going to make nearly enough if you did the hard work and DCA'd across here, like you should have been done, like we should be doing right now. It's pretty obvious, dudes. Like, look at this chart. It's pretty effing obvious what's going to happen. Same with Qnt. Pretty effing obvious what's going to happen. We're not obviously going to get back to these low prices, but it's pretty effing obvious. So keep in mind, the exit strategy is one of the ones a lot of people don't have a strategy. It's hard to do, it's hard to stick to, because you see numbers go up when the bull run happens if you haven't experienced your first bull run yet. It's very exciting. You start with, let's just say 10K, and that's what you have. And then shit gets crazy. Now you have 50, right? And you're thinking, let me just keep holding on. And then 150 happens. Let's just say if you're in some speculative place. What happens is you're like, well, we've already 50x or so to get here. I just need 300K, bro. I just need 300K. I've already 15x. I can easily do a 2x. A 2x is nothing now, right? Problem is you might get to 165. You're getting happy. You're getting excited. You're telling the girlfriend, you're telling the wife, yep, game over. We're retiring. We're getting this beach house. We're buying this shit. I mean, 300K. It's going to do some damage. It's not going to go crazy. But you're saying that. You quit the job. And then you ride all the way back down to 7. That's the game, bro. That's the game. So you must have the extra strategy or you get effing wrecked. You started with 10, you actually lost money. Keep that in mind. Now, we're going to be spending 10 grand here. I said this before, and there was a few comments in the last video, and I get it. I totally get it, but some of you guys need to have more, not motivation, some of you guys need to actually get in the game and actually understand this is real money we're playing with, people. We can't be saying, 10K is too hard to achieve in 9 to 12 months. I said 20K, fair enough. But even still, man, you need to be able to achieve that. If you can't achieve that, cryptocurrency is not going to be for you. You're not coming in the market with 500 to a grand and doing any significant damage. If your goal is just to make 5, 10K, fantastic. You're going to be able to probably do that, but it's not going to do anything for you, bro. It's not going to do anything. By the next bull run happens, inflation's already going to take a grand of that. So wait, if we're talking real money and we're talking actually proper assets, it's worth nothing. It's worth nothing. So you have to be able to get the 10 grand minimum to 20 grand, in my opinion. Get the job, get the side hustle, get extra hours, whatever you can do, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe this is possible, I honestly can't help you. I need you to get over this limited belief. That's all it is. So this is step 1. Pause the video and say, what can I do right now? What can I do right now in the next 9 to 12 months that can make me an extra 10 grand in that time? It's so fucking easy. It's only an extra grand per month, disposable income. You invest $250 a month DCA. It's pretty $250 a week if you split that way, or 1K, or however you want to do it. It's not that hard to achieve, guys. It's not that hard to achieve. So that's step 1. You need to pause the video and you need to ask yourself, what can I do to do that? Or can I sell shit? Can I cut down expenses? There's 3 ways you can do it. You get more hours, you sell shit, or you find something else. Okay? That's what you have to do. If you can't do that, forget about it. Honestly. Hard truth. Other crypto YouTubers won't tell you this. They'll just tell you, again, I love other crypto YouTubers. There's no bashing them. I like them. I talk to most of them, but they're not going to tell you this. They're not going to give you the harsh reality. If you can't get it, you're not going to make it, bro. You're not going to effing make it. So you need to figure that out. You guys know what I do. You can choose if you want to do that. Go down the e-com route, even start the YouTube channel. I know a lot of people were motivated by the last video to start a YouTube channel, start some sort of side business. Get that done. Get that done and start putting the reps in. And then this shit's easy. This shit's easy because you can start doing that per month, per every week if you want, if you get, really successful. Anyways, let's talk about the Qnt extra strategy. So here's what you came from. Firstly, I do believe we can go, right? We have to be realistic. That is the most important thing. So 20 to 25% out strategy is what I'm going to be using, give or take, foolproof, and we can F this up, boys. Now, the reason, when we talked about these numbers before, this one and this one, problem with this is you're waiting for the 2 grand. It might seem an easy target, but what if it doesn't happen? What if that 2 grand doesn't happen? Hbar. What if the $1 doesn't happen? I believe that'll happen with quite easily, but what if it doesn't? What if it gets to 92 cents and you haven't realized any money? Now again, these are huge numbers we're talking about with just this, bearish kind of prices. We're talking about 200 grand out with 10 grand in. Not hard to achieve, boys. But again, if you're just doing the one sell-off and you're waiting for that, it's not gonna work, bro. It's just not gonna work, or it's not gonna work to some degree where you actually have a strategy. You're just kind of guessing, and that's not what I want to do. Now, because we have 50 QNT, it's gonna make it super easy to do this with a percent strategy. Almost really nice round numbers. So here's what I've got. I've got 5 exit strategies, okay, for QNT. Keep this in mind. It doesn't need to be complicated. This is simple as F, bro. It might look complicated. You might be thinking what the numbers are. We're gonna break it down, but this is so simple, and this isn't the strategy I would advise you to do. This is a simple strategy that everybody can follow, but you have to do the maths for you. What do you want out of the bull run? How much have you got invested? Some of you guys have way more than this. That's fantastic. Just break this down, but this is just super simple strategy where you can guarantee 99%. Obviously, if Bitcoin doesn't do well, it doesn't effing matter, but I believe it's going to do well eventually. So bull run, it doesn't matter if it's 2025, 2024, 2027, 2032. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. It's way too far out, but that's the reality. It is going to happen eventually. So again, you do the numbers for yourself, but this is the numbers for the 50 and the 100,000 Hbar that I would do. So we're going to be selling 50 now in chunks instead of 3, right? Now, the first taking profit strategy is going to be $700. Now, it's awfully high for QNT. You'll see with the HBAR one in a second, I go a lot lower towards the all-time high. But I believe QNT is just going to absolutely destroy this number. And I have been somewhat bearish on QNT just because I want to guarantee some gains right off the bat. I want to be making that $5,000 to $10,000 with the initial investment back as fast as possible. I'm going to feel a lot better. I'm not going to be stressed. I'm not going to be worried. And I'm not going to get moonshot eyes by thinking it's an easy couple $100,000. Let's get profits back in the account as fast as possible. Now, $700, we're going to be selling 15. That's going to give us immediately, bro, think about this. We've put $10,000 in both coins, $5,000 in each. If we just do this, boys, we've already got $500 profit with just 15 QNT, let alone the $5,000, the 100,000 HBAR coins. That's it, bro. Imagine you could just do whatever you want with the rest, and you've guaranteed you made nothing, $500. But at least you've got all these other tokens, etc. You can get absolute ruthless with. Now remember, we're not doing that because we're having this foolproof plan. But this is so easy. This is how easy and how simple it can be, dudes. You don't have to complicate this, okay? So we've guaranteed, we're in the game, and we've got money out. Now, the next 15, 1,100, 16.5K. Now we're in the money, bro. Now we're in the money. And again, I think 1,100 QNT is so easy to achieve just with the business, just with the numbers, just with the recent news, etc. with the banks. I think it's absolutely an easy game. The last 15, we're going to be selling at 1450. I want you to do that because a lot of people are going to be waiting for the 1500, I believe. They're going to be waiting. So let's get out the game before these guys are even waiting with their big, limit orders or sell orders, whatever. And we're out the game. We're out the game. We're selling to guys that are in FOMO now, where guys are thinking QNT is going to 10, 20K. We're selling to them. We're getting out the game, and we're live for that with 21K. We're starting to do serious damage. We're now can actually, in the real world, if we're just everything was to go to shit, excluding the HBAR, remember, because we're riding HBAR along with this. We can now start buying some real shit. We can now start, almost quitting our job and buying ourselves time if you're making yourself like 30 to 50K. You can now buy yourself a year of time if you really wanted to work in that business and you believed you need to do that. You can now do that. You can now do that. Now again, taxes, I'm not going to talk about that because it's different for every day. Some people are in 0%, some people are in 4%, some people are in 20%. You guys need to figure it out for yourself. Now we've got 5 left. We split this up into 2.5, 2.5. Now our moonshot, it's getting heated here. I don't believe this really is a moonshot. I still think this is quite easy to achieve, but I'm going to put 22. Now, some people would go 1900. That might be a better strategy, but I'm going full moonshot. I think everything's going to get heated. I still think it's going to be easy. So we're selling 2.5, we're getting 5.5K. And now the 2.5 that we have left, I've called this, Jesus, we made it. We're good. If this has happened, I'm getting out at this point with every other single coin, obviously ADA, Gala, BTC, Ethereum that I hold. I'm out the game. I'm out the game at this point, way before this. 2.9K plus, that's going to give you 7.2K. Now, it's a 61K out just with QNT. Now remember, this is a 10x with ease. Now, if you look at this one, you actually would have made more money, but it's a lot more stressful here, bro. It's a lot more stressful here. And again, I do expect numbers to go higher, so just keep that in mind. But if you're waiting for the 2 and you only get 19, 17 only hits, let's say the bull run wasn't that great, and even though that still is a great return, that still is like a 19x on QNT from what it is right now if you got to 19. But if you're waiting for that magical $2,000, it doesn't happen, let's say. You just lost it, bro. You just lost it. We've got 61K with the easiest strategy possible. Let's say these 2 don't happen, we just hold these for the next bull run, right? The next bull run, 5 QNT, whatever. We've still got cash here, bro. We've still got a lot of cash here. 55K or whatever it is, right? 20, 35, 45, yeah. Got a lot of cash here, bro. And that's excluding HBAR. Now, the sell 50 at 2K seems better. Again, it seems a lot better for this one, but it never works that way. It's not going to happen, and if it does happen, it's just way too risky. We don't want to be doing this. We want to actually be realizing games, because remember, after the first trade, we've already in profit, dude, without excluding HBAR. With excluding HBAR. So it's an easy game. It's an easy game, Matt. So hopefully this one was a good QNT strategy for you. You could go more deeper. You could have split it up into 3 chunks. You could split it up into 10 chunks, but I think just 5. The last 2, go for a moonshot, split them up. You could also go, maybe 5, or you could go 4 and 2, whatever the math would be, just quick heads. You could go 3 and 2. Well, this is just as simple as it has to be. You could go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, split up into 5. But again, I want to get the most out of the first, the first 3, so I don't have to be holding on, because there's still 10 and 10, 20 QNT. I want to actually get those realized, especially if, QNT is getting over $1,000. I don't want to be just sitting on 20 QNT. It's 20 grand if I just keep it at 1 grand. So hopefully that makes sense. Easy game. Now HBAR. This is a juicier one, in my opinion. I think there's more gains in HBAR. I don't want to say there's more risk. They're both kind of the same for me, but I'm a lot more heavier in Hbar. So maybe I'm a little bit biased in this one. Maybe I am. I don't know. But Qnt I am starting to like, and it is becoming my favorite altcoin, just with the limited supply, the business, etc. But Hbar, I'm balls to the wall with this one, bro. I'm balls to the wall. My plan is to make $1 million with just Hbar by itself. And again, it wouldn't even need to go to $1 now because I've got more than 1 million coins. So it's going to be an easy game for me, but I'm still having this exit strategy. So this is what I would play. Now remember, you've got 100,000 Hbar coins, 5 grand invested, 5.1 give or take at the time of recording. And we're going a little bit more crazy near the bottom, but a little bit more conservative at the start. And because if Hbar is so far off its all-time high, 10x or so, you've already looking at the previous all-time high, right? And I think coins are like Hbar are going to smash all-time high. So this one's an easy games, bro. Trust me. So we're going to be taking out 30k at 0.59, just before 60 cents. Not like much better to have it out before the whole numbers. Just keep that in mind. It's much better because a lot of people are going to be waiting. A lot of people waiting for the 70k BTC, the 5k Ethereum in the previous run. All this shit never fucking happened, bro. Never happened. You would have got wrecked. You'd have done all the hard work. You never would have got the sell just for a few $100s on whatever it was on BTC, and pretty much nothing on Ethereum if you waited to 5k because it's got 4.94%. I can't remember, but there was nothing left, right? So do it before if you can. Now it's going to give you 17.7k. It's fucking amazing. So imagine you've got 10k here and 17.7. So you've pretty much got, almost 29k or 30k. Just round it up, right? With the first numbers being hit, and these numbers are going to be so easy. I mean, Hbar, the previous all-time high on TradingView, it's pretty much 58 cents if I remember correctly. So that's just the previous all-time high. Qnt a little bit more bullish, but $700 is going to mean nothing for Qnt. If everything went to shit, you'd still make 28k, a 2 to 3x on your money with everything being a disaster. How easy is that, bro? How easy is that? You can't do that anywhere else, man. You can only do that on your business, yourself, or in cryptocurrency. You can't really do that anywhere else in a short amount of time. So it's absolutely crazy how a lot of people are going to be sleeping on cryptocurrency. But this is such a better strategy. So the next 30k, you're going to be going 95. Remember, I'm just selling before the dollar because a lot of people are going to be waiting for that $1. A lot of people are waiting for that $1 to unload the boat. You've got people like me that are going to be doing that. But again, I'm going to be selling just before that $1 so I can get the F out. Now that one's going to give you 28.5. Numbers are getting a little bit silly here, but this is just showing you how said that's why I'm such a big believer in Hbar, because the numbers are getting pretty silly and these numbers aren't hard to achieve. 30k, $1.40. This is a little bit more bullish. We've jumped up quite a lot. Some people will go $1.20, $1.25, but because we've made so much money here, I can be a little bit more more risky here because I'm so much in the money. But again, I still think $1.40 will happen, but that's going to give us 42 grand. 42 just in that one there, just for that 30k Hbar. Now, our moonshots are getting heated. Be prepared for this never to happen. But again, a lot of people do predict a $2 Hbar with ease. So again, we're taking that just before $1.95. We're not being cute with it. It could be $1.91, $1.89, $1.94. Don't be crazy with it, dude. Just get the F out just before that $2. That one's going to give you 9.7, just with 5. Last one, Jesus, we made it. And again, a lot of people are saying $3, $4 is going to happen. I don't personally think so. But I'm out there 2.4. I've already made my money. That's going to give us the last 12 grand. That's 109k, bro. So 20x with ease. Now, what's interesting about this one is if you just wait for the $1, you're beating this target. You're beating this one. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Now, that maybe goes because maybe I'm a little bit too bullish with Hbar. But comment below right now. Do you think these numbers are bullish? Do you think these numbers are that unattainable for Hbar? First one, 0.59, previous all-time high pretty much on TradingView, whatever it was, and 0.95. I think these numbers are quite attainable. As we get down here, of course, we're heated. Things are getting hot. But remember, it's only 10 grand of Hbar coins. We've already got the 90 out. We're already 90% out here, boys. So I think these first 30k, the first 30Ks are quite attainable. $1.40 may be a stretch, but still think it's quite easy to achieve. Now, remember, people are attached to the whole numbers. Keep that in mind, dudes. Whole video I've been talking about, get out before those whole numbers as much as you can. On some of the examples, I would sell a few dollars or few cents before, like your Qnt one, 700, so you might go 695, and then you might go 1050, and then you might, obviously 1450 is fine, then you might go 2150 or 2795, 2895, whatever. Just keep that in mind. But at this point, it's not really going to matter because you've already guaranteed gains. This will be safer and more foolproof. So that's it, dudes. Super simple. Didn't need to be hard. We didn't have to hold Qnt for 2 grand. We didn't have to hold Hbar for $1. We were taking profits way before that. We were realizing gains, and we were making so much money with just a small amount to invest in. 10 grand again. Start this video, I'll say it again, and I'll say it one more time. If you don't believe you can get 10 grand in the cryptocurrency market by the next bull run, 9 to 12 months, like I predict, might be longer, might be less, just get it as fast as possible. I don't think you deserve to make it, bro, to be 100% honest, because it's so effing easy if you just put in the work. A lot of people do not want to put in the work. A lot of people are sitting there playing video games, eating Doritos and jacking off. That is the harsh reality. You compete with people like me that are just going hard as fuck on their side business, their e-com stores, their YouTube businesses, funneling that back into cryptocurrency, and still finding time to research more products and get shit done. You are competing against people like me. Now, we can all win, but we must get that active income up, because if we don't have the 10K, none of these numbers are real. These are all fake numbers now because you didn't get the 10K. Now, for the people past the 10K, remember, be more spread. But look at these numbers, and I think you can all achieve this, bro. I think you can all achieve this. Now, imagine if you had 20K. Numbers are getting a little bit silly. Numbers are getting very, very silly. But again, you get to decide what you want to do with your life. This is just my strategy. This is just a super simple way. I thought it would be valuable. If it was, drop a comment. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, stay relentless, and get after it.